Good afternoon to you and welcome to Hard Factor 90.3 Nigeria Info at Herringport Harcourt. I'm Dayo. 12 minutes gone past 3 p.m. and conversation kicks off right now till about 7 p.m. when we wrap it up for today. And you're welcome once again. I hope that this Thursday has been a brilliant one for you and that you're doing good. You're doing very well. And work has been great today if you had to do work, or maybe you're working later on, or just starting, like my work technically is just kicking off, even though it starts from when I wake up literally. But technically just kicking off. If you're in a similar situation as I am, I hope things are starting off real good today. Welcome once again. Alright, so let's delve into the matters we're discussing on today's edition of the show. I've got side comments coming up, random stories and random thoughts on those. They will not be discussed now. No, they won't, too much later on. After that, I do have a rant. And I'll be delivering that now. That we will discuss till about 4 p.m. Now, we've got the business news, and after that, let's see what happens next. Oh yeah, Elusakin is now a free man. Yes, indeed, he's after 6 years. 6 years. You would think you may have been certain that the government had something on him. I mean, how do you keep a person incarcerated for 6 years? And you have nothing on that person? I mean, how? I mean, you would be certain once again, come on, they've got something. That's why they're holding on to this guy for 6 years. Since 2015? Yep, 2015. Story here from the Punch newspaper. Court frees Elusakin wife Zinat. That's the story. Just a moment. Computer's freezing up. We'll be there soon. Alright. Kaduna High Court on Wednesday discharged an acquitted leader of the proscribed Islamic movement in Nigeria, Ibrahim Elusakin, and wife Zinat. Justice Gideon Kurada delivered the verdict in an 8-hour ruling on the no-case submission application filed by the defendants. Counsel to the defendants, Marshal Abubakar, who represented the lead counsel in the suit, Femi Falano, SAN, informed reporters shortly after the trial ended in Kaduna. Quote, the trial of Sheikh Elusakin and his wife Zinat has come to an end as the court found them not guilty of the alleged crime filed against them by the Kaduna state government. The court found that the charges that were filed in 2018 pursuant to the penal law enacted by the state government in 2017 of an alleged offence committed in 2015 were incompetent. The court presided over by Justice Gideon Kurada ruled that the charge was not supposed to be filed in the first place, as the government cannot arraign someone for a said crime that was not an offence at the time. The court ruled that the charge was incompetent, as the court agreed that Elusakin and his wife had committed no offence. The court also holds that the event of December 12, 2015 and December 15, 2015 was not an offence, and the court was emphatic that none of the event of December 12, 2015 can be attributed to the defendants for an offence. The court thereby discharges and acquits the defendants, as there should have been no charge in the first place. No party asked for cost to fine, Abubakar told reporters. Now, lead prosecution team, Mr. Dare Bayero, however, declined comment on the ruling as he drove out of the court premises. Kaduna state government had charged. Okay, we'll come to the details later on, but that's the story. We'll discuss that later on. So, after 6 years of incarceration, have we finally come to the end of this saga? Or is there more? Or might there be more? We'll look at this in the 4 o'clock hour. My guest will be Barrister Festus Aguche, who will join me for that conversation. That takes us till 5 o'clock. Yes, it does. In the 5 o'clock hour, in Tokyo, we've done it how we do it here. You know how we do it here, how we always do things here. There's a way things are done normally, and there's a way we do it here. Well, guess what? We didn't just stop at doing it here. We had to go to faraway Tokyo to go do things there how we do it here. Now, 10 Nigerian athletes. Wait, just a moment. What's that story? It's here somewhere. 10 Nigerian athletes banned from participating in Tokyo Olympics. Yeah, we've done it again. we just had to to add the Nigerian touch to it. It's not complete without a dash of Nigerian spice, without a sprinkle of Nigerian sauce, without a dab of Nigerian. I don't know. We did it. We absolutely did it. Story. I think I'm going with the Vanguard edition, or the Vanguard version. 10 Nigerian athletes banned from taking part in the Tokyo Olympics. What does this portend for sports development in Nigeria? Really? Well, 10 Nigerian athletes have been ruled ineligible to take part in the ongoing Tokyo 2020 Olympics. In Japan, by the Athletics Integrity Unit, to dampen the country's hope for a successful competition. Now, the athletes were ruled ineligible due to failure to meet the minimum testing requirements under Rule 15 of the anti-doping rules for Category A federations. Now, Category A federations, this is where it gets even more interesting. Nigeria's a Category A federation, as far as the Olympics are concerned, as far as Athletics Integrity Unit is concerned, and by the way, I know in school A is good. It means if you score an A, that's a very good thing. It means you scored very high marks. If you score a B, that's just below A, and C is below B, and D, you know what that means. But in this case, Category A is not a good thing. Category A is a very bad thing. This is probably one of those instances when scoring an F is a very good thing, because Category A federations are those that are deemed to have the highest doping risk and considered as a threat to the overall integrity of the sports. Yeah, well, Category A, remarkable stuff. Anyways, what does this portend for development of sports in the country? How exactly did this happen at all? We'll look at that in the 5 o'clock hour after the news update. I'll be having a guest for that conversation as well. Chris Green will join me for that. He's the special advisor to the Rivers State Governor on Real Madrid Football Club Academy. He will join me for that conversation in the 5 o'clock hour after the update. Headlines 5:30, major news at 6 p.m. and open season comes up after that till about 7 when we wrap up the conversation today. So let's delve right into things then with today's side comments. Random stories and random thoughts of mine, which, for a reminder once again, will not be discussed at this time. Now, the protest over the bad state of Eleme Road has entered its 4th day today. Now, there are pictures of protesters cooking and eating at the venue of the protest. The protesters, mainly youths from Eleme and the Goni community, say they will remain on the road until relevant authorities mobilize contractors to begin work on the road. As you may know, the protest has grounded economic activities on the Eleme stretch of the East-West Road since Monday. By the way, apologies to my brothers over there and my sisters as well. I couldn't make it yesterday. I hope the cow has not been exhausted yet, because we can start another fresh round of trouble if the cow and the goat finishes before I get there. By the way, I hope the authorities are concerned about this as these persons are, as every rational thinking person should be, and are making concerted efforts, not being on top of the situation, because that's a very bad thing in the Nigerian scheme of things. I hope they're making deliberate efforts to address this situation. And I hope that Babatunde Fashola, the minister, is going to be attending to this as soon as possible, and that stretch of road is going to be fixed as well. But once again, please don't finish the cow yet. I think I might be wrapping up today's side comments right now, I suppose. Just a moment. Oh, I think we'll leave it at that. So that's a wrap on today's side comments. So let's see. So, like I said, I will be going for a short break. When I return, I have coming up something in my mind, and I'd like to get your take on mine. Do please stay tuned. Hard fast return to the moment.
up with political issues and developments around you only on Nigeria Info.
Are you running late and can't make it down to our Rumorsi office to book your commercials? Don't worry, because you can take advantage of our marketing office inside Port Harcourt to book your commercials. It is located at Shop 9 Mediatrix of All Graces Plaza, opposite FIRS Stadium Road, Port Harcourt. You can also call our sales rep on 0817-001-8162. That's 0817-001-8162.
What we do goes beyond bringing you the news. We give you a chance to talk about it. Your opinion, your voice. This is 92.3 Nigeria Info, Port Harcourt, your number one news, talk, and sports radio station.
And now, Hard Facts. Hard Facts with Dayo.
Hello, welcome back to Hot Factor 90.3 Nigeria Info here in Port Harcourt. I'm Dayo. 23 gone past 3 p.m. I would like to rant for just a bit. I do have something on my mind. I'll be expressing some thoughts on it, and I would very much love for you to express your thoughts on mine all the way till 4 p.m. Today's conversation is about responsibility. That's what it's about. Or today's rant, rather. It's about responsibility. And more specifically, government responsibility. Well, there are many things that government does wrong in Nigeria. Too many things, actually. But I think one might surmise it this way. Government in Nigeria are prone to shelving responsibility. I think that's one of the, if not the biggest bane of government or governance in Nigeria. Government shelves responsibility. And government doesn't realize, and when I say government, I mean government at different levels in Nigeria, whether it's the federal level, the state level, what I like to refer to as a non-existent local level. They shelve responsibilities. And government does not realize that it cannot afford to shelve its responsibility. Because when government shelves its responsibility, there can never be a vacuum. Something or someone is going to take over that space, and very likely, more often than not, it's not going to be a good thing or a good person. Nothing positive, nothing good can come from government shelving its responsibility. And when government does, as government in Nigeria are prone to doing, anarchy and chaos inevitably will reign. Something is bound to go wrong. As always is the case with just about every ministry, department or agency in this country. Everything goes wrong. And the reason they go wrong is because, once again, the government has shelved its responsibility. Classic example of this is the unfortunate development here in Rivers State. In Emohua precisely. Now, before I go deeper into today's rant, I would like to say that a human being was killed as far as this incident is concerned. And it's a bad thing that he was killed. From reports or from accounts, he died a gory death. And that's a terrible thing. Nobody should have to die or be killed or die under those circumstances. And I do deeply, sincerely commiserate with the family. I mean, no matter who the person was, he does have people who love him, and my sympathies and deepest condolences to the family and friends of the deceased. Now, that said, let's move on to the story. Now, this was on our news earlier. Rivers State Police Command has confirmed that the killing of Alex Uwazurike Isaac, the leader of disbanded OSPAC, was court-related. He was killed in the Umodiogang community in Emohua local government area on Tuesday. Now, a spokesman of the command, Inamdi Moni, spoke to our correspondent on the matter. Here's what he said.
Ombudoga, where the head of OSPAC in that community was killed. I understand also that he's been building a court wall, which resulted in his death last night. It's a rival court group invaded his privacy, got him killed, and decapitated him. As we alerted, we moved in immediately. We were able to secure his dismembered corpse, and then since that night till now, we've been there.
Now, the police spokesman revealed that stakeholders from the community have been invited to a crucial meeting to discuss how to stop the crisis. No, pardon me. SP Money tells a correspondent that no arrests have been made over the incident.
They're able to restore some level of normalcy. People who ran away from the community are coming back. We are also allaying their fears. Our men will be there until total peace is restored. Fear of reprisal attack from the other group. So we'll be there until there's total peace in the community. The CP has ordered investigation into the matter, and some of our officers are combing the bushes, trying to trace the fleeing cultists. So far, place is calm. Assistance from members of the community to assist us with useful information that can lead to the arrest of these hoodlums.
Now, the police spokesman revealed that stakeholders from the community have been invited to a crucial meeting to discuss how to stop the crisis.
From what the CP, the order he gave to the DC State CID, has asked him to invite all the stakeholders, the leadership of this community for a meeting, with a view to finding lasting solution to it, because we understand that they have some misunderstandings, especially with the security outfits and these court groups. So we want to really look into the matter critically and ensure that a lasting solution is proffered.
Now, why did we have the advent of the likes of OSPAC, and I believe there are several other such vigilante groups operating here in Rivers State, and even beyond Rivers State as well? The answer is simple. It is a failure of government, the failure or the inability of government, and I mean government at all levels, not just the federal government now. It is the failure of government at all levels to ensure the safety of lives and property that gave birth or that led to the proliferation of these vigilante groups and led to the popularity, if I may use that word, and I use it conservatively, the popularity of the one known as OSPAC. Now, vigilante groups are not novel. They are not new. As a matter of fact, they are a common feature in our society. Maybe, I think I would even say even they've been a common feature in our society. They've been an integral part of even our traditional institutions from possibly even time immemorial. So there's nothing strange, there's nothing new about them. The only difference is they have assumed a certain status now, which is somewhat alien to our traditional customs and belief systems, because vigilante groups are supposed to be answerable to society. They are answerable to people in society. They are answerable to members of their society, because they are drawn from members of a community. So they are answerable to the people of that community, especially those who are considered to be the heads or the leaders or eminent persons in those communities. Unfortunately, vigilante groups the likes of OSPAC have assumed a larger-than-life personality, and they are literally from reports that we've received for so long, they're literally not answerable to anybody but themselves. And it's a huge problem, and I've said this severally, and I am very much aware that there are tons of persons who are not pleased with it. I can't be bothered by that, really. There are tons of persons who aren't pleased with many things that I say. But I have said this severally. I have raised concerns about the activities of OSPAC and other similar so-called vigilante groups. Now, do they sometimes help in addressing security concerns or situations in the communities? Yes, they do. But do they even pose possibly a bigger security threat? Yes, they do as well, because once again, they are not answerable to the systems, they are not answerable to members of the communities, they are answerable to themselves. They have become lords and gods unto themselves. And when you hear the reports of the things that they do in this community sometimes, it's absolutely unbelievable. Over and beyond whatever mandate whoever it was that gave it to them. And as such, no matter what they might do that appears to seems like they're addressing security concerns, ultimately nothing good can come out of it. And once again, the reason is simple, because government has shelved its responsibility. So government couldn't provide security, fine. So these security groups or vigilante groups sprung up. They became quite prominent. Why didn't government control them? Why didn't government oversee their actions? Why didn't government profile them? Why didn't government exert some authority, which it's supposed to, by the way, and which it has? Why didn't government exert its authority over them? Why has government failed to do so? The chairman of Emohua local government area, Dr. Chidi Lloyd, was on the Morning Crossfire earlier today. I listened to a bit of that interview, and part of it, I believe, made it onto our news as well. And he had some interesting things to say about the activities of this vigilante group in local government. Now, this was on our news earlier on. The chairman of Emohua local government area, Chidi Lloyd, says his administration will establish local security outfits in Emohua that will be regulated by law. Regulated by law. Why didn't government do that before now? How did government not know that leaving these guys to act however way they choose, lawlessly by the way, cannot be a good thing? How did government not know that? And by government, once again, I'm not just referring to Emohua local government area, I'm referring to every government at every level, especially here in River State, since the incident in question transpired here. Dr. Lloyd spoke on Nigerian for this morning, and he said he did not ban OSPAC, but was only reinforcing the ban by his predecessor, Tommy Lazy, after some members of the group deviated from their mandate. Let's hear some of what he said.
I have reiterated the ban on OSPAC. No responsible government will sit and watch a few miscreants take laws into their hands. I do appreciate the fact that OSPAC or whatever, they came in at a time when the local government was taken over, as it were, by hoodlums. But what we are doing is that, as plausible as the idea of OSPAC is, they need to be regulated. We call the stakeholders meeting and say, look, among those who are currently in this OSPAC in your communities that you perceive are good, bring the names back. We will now know that these people are responsible to us. So what we are doing as a government is, first, ensure that we have a system that knows everybody that is in this outfit. And I have prepared a bill, the Emohua Local Government Vigilante Services.
How did government not know to do this before now? How? What exactly is it that government even does, really, if government did not know that this ought to have been done before now? And it's interesting, the choice of words, his choice of words. Let's hear the earlier part of his comment again.
I have reiterated the ban on OSPAC. No responsible government will sit and watch a few miscreants take laws into their...
That's the point. He referred to them as miscreants, taking laws into their own hands. And literally, in many instances, in many cases, maybe even most cases, that is exactly the true portrait, the true picture of things. A few miscreants who have taken laws into their hands. And if you listen to that interview this morning, he described some of what these miscreants do. They now settle fight between husband and wife, and they beat up the and I'm paraphrasing Dr. Lloyd from this morning. They beat up the husband with machete. That's what they do. In the guise, in the name of providing security in communities, because once again they are not answerable to anybody, they are answerable to themselves. And it's very important to state that I am not suggesting that having vigilante groups is a bad thing. No, it's not. Like I said a while ago at the start, it was and is an integral part of our traditional customs and systems. Nothing wrong with it. But traditionally as well, and based on our customs, they are answerable to the communities. But in this case, they are not. And nothing good. It doesn't matter if before you were sleeping with two eyes open, now you're sleeping with one eye open. It doesn't matter. Ultimately, nothing good can come from, to borrow Dr. Lloyd's once again, a few miscreants taking laws into their own hands, my words now, in the guise of providing security. Nothing good. can come out of that, no matter the seeming reprieve they might give to the communities where they are operating and carried out their lawless acts. And all of this only happened once again because government shelved its responsibility. It shelved its responsibility in that it could not provide security in the first place. Then the groups came up, then went further to further shelving its responsibility by not controlling those groups and allowing them to act irresponsibly, lawlessly, answerable only to none other but themselves. So I hope very much that what Dr. Lloyd said will happen in Emohua, and some sanity will be restored to the security vigilante groups or systems in Emohua. And I hope that other local governments in Rivers State, and I hope that the state government will be concerned about this as well. Maybe even some law by the State House of Assembly as well, overseeing the activities of these vigilante groups. I hope it will take it seriously, and not just in Rivers State, but even in other parts of the country where there might be similar concerns as well. On that note, I end my rant. Thanks for listening. I hope I didn't bore you. Any thoughts of mine, let's hear it. We've got considerable time today, thankfully, before 4. Numbers are the same, lines are open. 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0003 or 0007. We are live on facebook.com/Nigeria Info PH, and WhatsApp is on 0809 0306416. That's 0809 0306416 via WhatsApp. Via WhatsApp, Amadi goes, good afternoon, Di. OSPAC are trying, but most times they do more harm than good, arresting innocent people in their communities and collecting money for bail. Last month in Umirulu community, they assaulted a boy with mental challenge till death. They are too lawless and unregulated to continue operation. So how can you say that they're good? There's nothing good about that. I mean, there are people who have been tortured, there are people who have been humiliated, there are people who have been beaten, and reportedly some people have been killed, others are even missing, allegedly due to the activities of OSPAC. How can that be a good thing? I've got Priya from Choba on the line. Hello, Priya, you're welcome. Please go on.
Hello, Dayo.
Hi, go ahead.
Good afternoon. Well, very decent plans you've made. I just feel that we are living in a time when government has actually neglected a lot of things. I won't put the blame on Dr. Chidi Lloyd. I'll put it on the previous administration, that of Tom Alieze, who refused to regulate this thing when it started having issues. If he had regulated it, we wouldn't have been in the mess that we are today. I just hope that Dr. Chidi Lloyd will match his words with action, because leaving that part of the community and of course that part of local government for us at this time when these miscreants has also started killing the persons who they felt were opposing them is not a very good thing. So I hope that the government will take very, very serious measures to deal with this issue before it becomes something that will begin to cry again in this state. Dayo, we can't neglect the fact that these boys actually started beating up people. It was also in your radio station. We had women crying how their husbands were being beaten, flogged with knives, all in the name of their providing security for community. Yeah. So I hope that these things will be nipped in the bud so that, normalcy can be restored and people can move around this local government. Thank you very much, Dayo.
You're welcome. I mean, and yes, we're talking about this right now because of the incident in Emohua local government area. But we have similar situations in other local governments in River State as well. Even I think there's OSPAC even here at Rumosi as well. There have been similar incidents even here also. I'm aware of one particular incident where a young boy was picked up by so-called OSPAC members here in Rumosi and was intimidated. He was beaten up, he was tortured, and then he was even money was illegally collected from them. He was extorted before he was released, all in the name of providing security. and you go about forcefully, they go about forcefully in different parts of the state, go about forcefully levying people, levying residences, levying businesses, and issuing threats as well. They go about disconnecting people from public power if you don't pay them. What kind of vigilante group goes about doing that? Who gave you the power to do that? Back to WhatsApp. They even protect police station from the chairman's comments this morning. Precious Nakabari from Abbas said that. Absolutely. Dr. Lloyd mentioned that this morning. That even DPOs contract OSPAC to protect them. Goodness gracious, what? Oh my. Oh my. Alright, still with WhatsApp, the end never justifies the means, and to say that the means these vigilante groups are employing is despicable and flawed is to say the obvious. And that's the truth. Once again, it doesn't matter what kind of security you think they provide. It doesn't matter. Before you were sleeping with 2 eyes open. Now you're sleeping with 1.5 eyes open. It's not better. It literally makes no sense. Let's see what's happening via Facebook. Abraham Kennedy goes, Amudioga indigents have relocated en masse to neighboring communities in Imo State. Obina Waga goes, the government always having knee-jerk reaction to circumstances, lack of any foresight, waste of taxpayers' money on a large scale. I've got Toya from Alu on the line. You're welcome. Please go on.
Thank you very much. So, you have raised a lot of current situations in the country now through the headlines, and they are disturbing headlines. In fact, I can feel your reaction in the studio. You can't imagine these things happening. The Elusakin or the current situation we are talking about in OSPAC. People are calling on OSPAC. Is it OSPAC that will save Nigeria or Rivers State? What are the police doing? What of the NSCDC? What about the FRSC, the immigration, the army, the Air Force, the Navy, DSS? They are out there. The government, they just keep on opening new avenues and expanding without having any this fire brigade approach to issues. Now, look at the situation where we find ourselves. Oh, well, let me just concentrate on what I want to talk about. It was transformation. Isn't that the Holy Spirit visited him? Because the transformation, if this is the strategic law that we all know, is past stories. We know it's James Bond stories. But now, he's now telling me that he wants to do good in the local government, Emohua. That is the right step in the right direction. We should encourage him, because I can't, but I really wanted to ask, is it the Holy Spirit that actually converted him, or is just pretending? Because we are going to hold by his word. Because I listened to him critically today. He made so much point. He needs the government to work. He wants to provide security in that place where the OSPAC, even if he can do away with the OSPAC, I'm sure he wants to do it, just to make sure that even he can get the police to do the work correctly at that Emohua. Do you understand me, Mr. Adedayo?
Toyo, I do get to your point just now. Great to hear from you as well, sir. Via WhatsApp, let's see, Daya OSPAC in our area here in Rumekini forcefully collect from every tenant 2H every month, I think. And if you refuse to pay, they will take any property belonging to you. They don't care if you have it or not. They are really intimidating us, all in the name of protecting us. It's really sad. It's simple. That's organized crime. And that is exactly what it's organized crime. What they are forcing the people to pay what is called protection money. That's what gangs and the do. They tell you that they're providing protection to you or for you. You have to pay them for it. They're not asking you. They are ordering you. They are demanding that you pay them for protecting you. And if you don't pay, or you're unable to pay property, they rob you, they extort you, they harass you, they intimidate you. That is organized crime. Now, how can criminals be protecting people from criminals, for goodness sakes? I've got Inamdi on the line. Inamdi, you're welcome. Please go on.
Hello, yeah, good afternoon, Dayo.
Hi, go ahead.
The truth is, most times when you come around, I feel very sorry. I feel very, very sorry for you because you're not different from every other person on the street, like every other normal Nigerian class or, foreigners. These are still boys or people within this same bastardized system. I know as much as you try, you genuinely try not to accept that it's a product of a failed system, that the good system has failed. You try not to accept it, but I know in your own personal life or in your own off the air, you know it's the truth.
No, obviously, Inamdi, I do agree with you. It's because systems have failed, structures have failed. Yeah. That's why we have this scenario. There's no doubt. There's no denying that.
Okay. So we cannot have. We can't have. Or you can't give what you don't have. OSPAC is just everybody is now taking advantage of a system that has failed. Should I give you an example? But you have something like that close to this in the north, where they're fighting banditry, where they call it, is it civilian JTF? Do you know? Some people will prefer civilian JTF to soldiers and police. And of course, why wouldn't you prefer a civilian JTF since the soldiers are already being kidnapped? Why would you prefer civilian JTF? That's somewhere in the northeast and in the northwest. And the system is even ready to sanitize OSPAC. There's no political will. There's no funds. They are even helpless. It's a shame. As much as there's nothing that we will cry. Forget Chief Lloyd. That one, what he's just doing there is just, what should I call it? Is the fire brigade, whatever. He cannot change it. He cannot. These guys have seen this thing as a loophole in the system. He cannot change it.
All right, we're not so optimistic, I suppose. Via WhatsApp, good afternoon, Di. OSPAC is doing more harm than good. Here in Rumekini, a lot of evils and atrocities is going on by this so-called OSPAC. Hello, Di. Like you said, government at all levels have abandoned their primary responsibility. Hence, we can have actors filling the space, exerting their own justice as they seem fit or as they deem fit. Power is nothing without control. If at all we will have vigilante, they should answer totally to the Nigerian police force. That should be the control. That's from DG. This guy only brings catarrhity, if there's a word like that, instead of the supposed security. Rabbi from Port Harcourt. I've got Victor on the line. Victor, you're welcome. Please go on.
Thank you, Dayo. Good evening.
Go ahead.
Dayo, I am heartbroken. I don't know why some of us are painting this OSPAC over. I was very surprised.
Hello? Oh, Victor's gone. And once again, as I did state earlier during my rant, I said, yeah, the advent of OSPAC, and not just OSPAC, there are other vigilante groups as well. Maybe like I've heard the excuse severally before, and I guess the last caller may have got to the, maybe he was just warming up to get to that point, that we used to sleep with two eyes open before. But since OSPAC into our community now, we now sleep with one quarter eye open. I don't get it, really. I really don't get it. And yes, it might seem like they brought some reprieve, but people are going through horrific experiences at the hands of these so-called vigilante people. Now, how can we say that it's okay for them to do that just because before we were sleeping with two eyes open, now we sleep with one quarter eye open? I don't know. Or before we used to see two heads, but we thank God for what OSPAC is doing. And also the same people are extorting innocent people. They are harassing. Anything they do cannot be okay. It can't be okay. If you still hurt the government, the people, in a uniformed outfit. The government should actually start putting the concerns of the citizens into concrete consideration. Maybe then we could have a head maintaining peace and order. Thanks, that's from Neville. In my area, good afternoon. Did they expect such groups to behave differently from the way the police behave towards civilian citizens? They have been extremely good students of their teachers. The whole of our society, individuals and groups, will compassionate and humane. Thanks, Abukari Bush said that.
Yes, we are going in cycles. There is a problem. We bring a solution. The solution ends up being a problem. We look for a solution. The solution ends up being a problem. There is no solution until the system wakes up. We have police. We have all security architectures. But the OSPAC was formed. So if OSPAC is not a problem, we have to set up another group to take care of OSPAC. And that group will become another problem, and the cycle goes on and on. So in the system failure, until we solve the system, this problem will continue going on and on. That's my contribution.
Yeah, what do you have for me to go? Wow. Well, I do. I mean, Ugo's analysis is spot on, but I do hope that this time around that he's wrong. I hope that we are to fix the system. I hope we do not continue with this cyclic situation, because if we do, what's coming after OSPAC is going to be even worse than OSPAC. If we continue along this trajectory, I do hope the Dr. Lloyd trajectory is going to take us in a different direction, and you know, to a better place. I very much hope. Good afternoon, via WhatsApp. OSPAC is simply taking advantage of a failed state. Nothing surprises me anymore. A nation on vacation. I hope it resumes duty someday. Onyeka Anthony said that. Good evening, Dar. You said, how can criminals protect us from criminals? But there's a saying that to catch a thief, you must behave like a thief. The aspect of OSPAC collecting money from people for protecting them is totally unacceptable. But come to look at it, we pay tax that the government use in funding the police, and nothing is being done. They say OSPAC has been maintaining law and order. If my memory serves me right, why not fund them? Prince Will Uchegwu from Ilile sent that in. Okay. All right. Let's see. Good afternoon, Dar. I want to first of all condemn the untimely death of the OSPAC leader from my community, Modioga. But some of the OSPAC members are duly involved in drug dealings with impunity. I will implore the LGA chairman, if he will keep to his words this morning. Everybody is aware of the unlawful act of OSPAC security outfit by organizing crimes such as kidnapping and drug pushing. Finally, I send my condolences to the family of Alex Mezurike. I want to maintain anonymous, so that's fine. No pipe on water, we sink boreholes, we get generators, no community security, we get security guards. We like to always walk around things, just like with the situation in the northeast. When government is ready to genuinely act to better things, then the police will act, the military will rise. Court groups have been running around Emohua LGA since the days of former governor Peter Odili, but some think that vigilante will address the root cause. That's Christopher from Port Harcourt. Still via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. Does it mean that all the money government is paying the police is a waste? Why can't police carry out their duties effectively so as to set aside all these local vigilante groups? It's high time whoever is responsible for the formation of this so-called OSPAC will overhaul and restructure them so as to fish out the bad eggs in order to avoid stories that touch the heart every time. Christopher Barryday sent it in. Yeah, the police is defected, Chris. Or defective, rather. There's no doubt about that. The police is defective. We can talk about all the money that's been allocated to the police. How much of it actually gets to them? I mean, you must have heard the reports of officers saying that they buy their own buttons themselves, they buy their own uniforms. They say they don't have money to fuel their vehicles. That's why they collect 15 naira on the road and give you number 4. Or number 2. As the case may be. The police, even the policing system is grossly defective. And many officers right now, many police officers, instead of being at their stations or some bit, protecting communities, protecting people, they are helping Madame to carry back the market right now. or they have gone to pick junior from. But whether or not police works, whether or not, even if we had a fantastic policing system, community security institutions or community-based security outfits, aka vigilante groups, is still a welcome development. So it's not a bad idea. They simply have to be organized and controlled, and they must be answerable to superior authorities. They must be answerable to their communities, members of the communities, and superior authority. They can't be, to borrow Dr. Chidi Lloyd's words once again, it's 4 p.m., a break for the business news. When I return, Elzak Zaki